Hey everybody, it's Michelle. Today I'm doing sort of a different video for me. It is somewhat of a speed build, but it's actually only part one of a two-part set of videos about retail lots, as requested by one of my Twitch stream followers. Hey Phase Man, shout out to you for this excellent idea. So basically today I am going to be building, part one is going to just be building, and it's building our retail store in question, our example, so to speak. What I decided to do was an outdoors store. After going yesterday to spend some money on camping supplies, I realized that that would be fun and not something I've done before, which is to do a sort of REI or just outdoor supply store concentrating on not just camping, but basically anything outdoorsy. So what I've done is I've picked a 40 by 30 lot in Oasis Springs, and I am building a pretty big place. Most of my builds actually evolve as I create them. This was originally going to be an RV showroom, and then I was about 2 seconds into my contemplations when I realized outdoor store was going to be a lot more fun. So we have our signage on the roof in the the big old bear elk moose thing. But he's sort of our big old signage, and then trying to make a store that sort of fits exactly what I envisioned. Um, I do have the RVs outside. Those are from Strangerville. They are debug from Strangerville. They don't have any swatches or anything because they're debug, but they're really cool items, and I like them a lot. And then you can see me laying out a small parking lot here. By the end of this video, I'll give you a sneak preview. By the end of the video, we actually have a much bigger parking lot and no exterior tents. So this is just sort of seeing the process, right? Seeing the evolution of builds. I use one of the campground signs to be my my entrance signage, and then try to figure out the windows. I just love how a lot of outdoorsy stores have really big windows, kind of big vistas, to really get you in the mood to think about being outdoors. And then another thing I was working on is I wanted the front gate to look as if it closed at night for security. So that's why I added those diagonal fence bits to look as if those could roll over at night to keep the store itself a bit more secure. Now just fiddling with the roof, fiddling with the layout. So there are a couple of things I think about when I'm first doing a retail lot. One is the path that Sims will take to get inside. I've worked a lot of retail in my life. I mean, a lot of retail. And I always think about, as someone who has been a retail worker multiple times for multiple years, that how Sims get around the store is really important. And not just where they can go, but where they can't go. Making sure that they have clear paths, making sure that the items that you're going to set on sale are accessible to the Sims. They don't like reaching for things high up on walls. They don't like a lot of level changes. They don't like a lot of complexity. Your Sims are very, very simple little pixel creatures. And so giving them the simplest time possible in a retail lot is going to make a lot of sense. You'll see some mannequins there. Just to talk a little bit about mannequins, you are allowed to have 10 mannequins per lot. The mannequins can vary between the more humanoid ones and the much more abstract ones. You can change their color, but that is when you're actually working on the mannequins, which will be next video. We'll talk a lot more about them. Today, I just kind of place them where I want them to be. And then I decided I would have both an interior bathroom that is quote unquote accessible. I know we don't have accessibility in the game, but I like to at least make the facsimile of an accessible bathroom just about every time I do a community lot. It's certainly it's nothing really. It's just aesthetics, but I like putting it there. I like it to be a thing. So I decided to do mostly camping equipment upstairs, and then downstairs is more. There's a kids section, and then also a section that mostly has to do with camp cookery. And I thought that was a nice way to split it up. I try to have mannequins in sort of active spaces, right? Like they're showing off what they would be doing. And you'll see also the benefit of having a lot of these different items is if you want your Sims to spend a lot of time here, and if you want your Sim who owns the lot to spend a lot of time here, it's way easier if you provide them everything they need to fulfill their needs, even if it actually doubles as items that are for sale. For example, you saw that upstairs I have both the tents and a camp shower that's going to be for sale. I have lots of things you can do. There are guitars. There's going to be a horseshoe game outside, a couple different bathrooms. This gives them basically everything they need. So if you want to have your Sim basically as if they live, quote unquote, live in the lot, you'll be able to do that. I did not build an apartment with this one, which is rare for me. Usually when I do retail spaces, I absolutely build little owner slash manager apartments, again, to facilitate just using the lot. And how this works, of course, and I'll talk about this more next time, is that your Sim will only return back to their home, their empty, neglected home, when you come back from travel. But you don't even have to do that. You can go into the retail panel and say go to store and really never worry about the house that the game forced you to purchase. You never have to furnish it. You never have to care. But like I said, we'll go into that a little bit more next time. And you can see me kind of messing with various supports, various ways to hold up the roof, just different architectural elements to try and make the store a little more interesting. And as I apologize, I know this is sped up pretty fast, so it's hard to concentrate on any one thing, but you can see me like really caring about the retail experience, I guess I'd say. I put up a lot of cameras. I put in that semi-accessible bathroom. I try to make sure I have light. It's really important to have both exterior and interior light. You're seeing me mess with this poor camera. I had a heck of a time with that one. You are seeing me kind of figuring out exactly how I want to light the place externally for security and for interest, because our Sims obviously don't care whether it's day, night, 3 a.m., 2 p.m. They'll shop whenever you're open. And you can see here, I'm really just trying to make sure that the external lighting is what I want, and that I'm showing off the signage, and that it's attractive, basically. Okay, we're adding our trees. We're in Oasis Springs, so we're adding palms and cedars. But, those are easily substituted if you choose to take this to a different world. The next thing I always do in retail lots, and again, this is literally just a cheaty hack to give your Sims who own the lot the ability to sustain themselves. I put in a break room. So this break room is, it has a computer, it has a vending machine, it has a fridge. One way that you can make this a little less weird for your Sims that are visiting the lot, who are buying at the lot, is to, when you're in live mode, click that door, actually both doors, the external one and the interior one, and make sure that you select them to be employees only. And that way you won't lose all your customers because they're sitting around playing video games or trolling the forums, TEF forums, on your laptop computer. But basically at this point, I'm just setting up this break room. I seem to have taken a little bit of a break here to talk to probably talking to my husband. But you can get a real look at what I'm putting in the break room, right? Just a few things to make life a little easier. And then I also am going to be putting in, there we go, springing back to life, chairs. I think I put in a bench. Yeah, now I'm getting the bathroom together, and you can kind of see, it's hard to see because it's dark in there, but always add toilet paper, always. And then I use what's called the chrome wall panel as the railing for the somewhat accessible bathroom. And that's kind of been the best thing I found to really give that visual, and then giving enough space in the bathroom so it'd be usable. I also wanted to add a little natural light to this bathroom, so there we go, putting in some windows. And we're getting to the point where I'm starting to look more at the big things, right? Like, okay, I need to gussy up the front desk. I need to put some stuff on the walls. I put some fish some mounted fish from Debug or from Your Wonderful Fisher Person Sim. And then I also like look at the shelf that I just took down in order to put up those feathers, which are also from Debug. Shelves are hard for Sims to navigate as retail customers, so I usually don't use them. I also, you can see looking around, I want to make sure that the Sims can get to every object and also that they can get to the mannequins. The mannequins can't be really separated from the Sims because the Sims want to walk right up to them and try on those clothes. So I don't do a lot of level changes. I don't put mannequins up on pedestals. I just leave them on the ground so the Sims can really relate to them. I've added a grill. I'm adding these indoor trees to give it more of an outdoorsy feel. And just a few decorative items to really kind of give it more of a friendly look, right? Some rugs, some wall decorations. Oh, look, it's a park. Some, I think I used the child's tree decals here. Yep. I really like that. I just think it's a fun thing. Yep, adding some benches both inside and out. Though if your sim needs to sleep, they can just sleep in the tents. It's actually a pretty good system for keeping your sims happy. Okay, and then I decided I really needed to expand out that parking lot. So we're getting that done. And getting our parking stops down. The parking stops are also Debug from Strangerville, and they're wonderful. At this point, I think we're ready to show off a few screenshots of our completed build, and then we're going to switch over to part 2 in a couple days, which is all going to be about running your retail lot. So I hope you enjoyed this, and it is really fun to talk to you all about one of my favorite types of builds. Thank you so much. See you next time.